This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the last class, we discussed about that system resources related commands, process management, and archive related commands. So today we are going to discuss about that user and group administration related commands. Okay, see, we have created one EC2 instance, the AWS admin console, right? Means we have created one Linux server. EC2 is a one service name. With help of the service, we can go into create the servers. Okay, here we have created many servers, right? So I am creating these servers for other batch, 7:30 to 9 o'clock batch. Okay, so this is a server we have created. Once if you create a server, okay, and if you connect to that server and if you see how many users are creating and what are the user names. Come on guys, EC2 user and root user, right? Two users, EC2 user. This is the normal user, and root ROOT. So this is the admin user, or we can call it super user, right? So now assume one guy has joined in this project, and we are using this server for that Walmart project. I want to provide the access to this particular server. How we are going to provide the access? If you want to connect to that server, we should have the credentials. Without credentials, is it possible to connect to the server? No, right? You have to create one user for that particular resource. How to create a user? To create a user, we are going to use that user add command. User add and username. User add and username. Okay. So I want to create a one user called as Bhaskar. If we execute user add and space Bhaskar, the username, it is going to create. So once we execute this command, what are the things it is going to happen in the background? This is one of the interview question. Okay. If you what is the command to create a user? Okay. After that, his question is once if we execute user add command, what are the things it will happen in the background? Already we know once if we create a user with the username, it is going to create a one directory in the home directory. So already we know this one, right? Apart from that, what are the files are going to update in the etc directory? If you see in the etc directory, shadow, passwd, group. So these files are going to update. Okay, each user it is going to add a one entry in these files. Okay, it is going to add one entry. Right. So now if you go and see cat /etc slash shadow. See, as a normal user, you are not able to open this particular file. Okay, and also As a normal user, you are not able to create the user. See, I am trying to create a user with the normal user. It is not possible. What you have to do? You have to switch to the root user. What is the command for switch to the root user? Come on, guys. Sudo space su space hyphen. Get up. Don't sleep. Don't sleep in front of the laptop. Okay, sir. It is very bad. Early morning you are conducting the classes. We don't like you, sir. But this is a good time to learn the new things, right? Okay. So now we have switched to the root user. Correct? Na? Now you can execute cat slash etc slash shadow. If you see ec2 hyphen user, right? ec2 hyphen user. One user has created. Just check it. Same it slash etc slash passwd. See here. What is this 1000? So anybody Linux admins? Nitin Jan. So user ID. Okay. So once if you create a user, for those users, it is going to apply the assign the ID, UID, user ID. So from RHL 7.x, what is the UID, starting UID for normal users? Anybody idea? 1000. RHL 6.x and less than, it's a 500. This is one of the introduction. So from 7.x onwards, they have increased that UID starting number. That's why if you see for EC2 user, the UID is 1000. Okay, so already it has created. Now if I create another user, Bhaskar user, what is the UID it is going to assign? What is the UID it is going to assign? 1001. It is going to increment by 1. Okay, so already 1000 is there for EC2 user. It is not going to allocate same number Jayashree. Okay, it is going to increment by 1. Okay, so this is a default user home directory. This is the default shell type. Bash is the default shell type. Okay, so now you can see cat slash etc group. So there also it is going to add. See? Now let me create it. User add and give the basket. It has created. If you want, you can check it in home directory. Definitely direct will be there. See, basket user is there. Okay, if you want, you can go and see in that passwd file. See, basket user, the UID is 1001. Yes, every user have unique ID. It is going to increment by 1. See, observe. Earlier it was 1000 for each type of user. So for basket user, it's 1001. Right? Clear? So now I want to set the password for this particular basket user. Okay, what to do? What is the command to set the password? Passwd is the command name. Passwd is the command name to set the password. Passwd, and you have to specify that username. Okay, to which user you want to set the password. You have to specify. Okay. So once if you execute this command as a root user, okay, it is going to ask that set the new password. So give the password and hit the enter. Again, it is going to ask the confirmation password. Same password. Have to give it. Okay. So here, once we set the password, interview question. This is the interview question. Where that password is going to store? PassWD file, shadow file, or group file? PassWD, shadow, some, okay. Narsimha Reddy is saying PassWD. Hmm? Many people are saying password, PassWD file. Why also saying? Vishnath also saying PassWD file. Everyone is going to guess yes, password is going to store in the PassWD file, but your assumption is wrong. Password is going to store in the shadow file. One is saying that group file. No. Okay. So right now, if you see that in the shadow file, if you see for Bhaskar user, there is no password. So once if you set the password, this two exclamation marks are going to replace with the some encrypted for the password. Okay. And one more question before going to execute this passwd command. So what is the root user UID? Oh, Anand has said that 0. Is it? Yes, 0 is the root user password. 0 is the root user UID. If you see root, see it's 0. Alright. For other users, see, sorry, this is not. If you check it in the cat slash etc shadow. If you see, just type passwd. See here for Bhaskar user 1001, ECT user 1000. So like that, if you see for root user 0, right? For root user it is 0, right? This one, see, for root user it is 0. Okay. So once if you set the password, these two exclamatory marks are going to replace. Okay. So let me set passwd Bhaskar. Hit the enter. See, it is saying that new password. I am going to type passwd. Okay. I am typing the password as a password. Okay. So it is saying that bad password. Why? Because I have given the password as a password. That's why. And type again one more time. See, even though you have given wrong pass, means the bad password means it is not the correct one. You should not supposed to give password as a password. Everyone can easily guess that one, right? Okay, that's why it is saying that bad password. Right now, if you go and see in the shadow file, if you observe earlier, two exclamation marks were there. Two exclamation marks were there. It has replaced. It has replaced with this encrypted format. So, do we have password for each type of user? No. Why? Because see, if the password is set, these two exclamation marks are going to replace with the encrypted password. Even if you see, Do we have password for root user? No. How to set the password for EC-user? Very simple. passwd EC2-user. Okay. Hit the enter. It is asking. Just type password as a password. Hit the enter. Again, it is going to ask confirmation password. Type same. So we have set the password successfully. Same way, you can set the password for root user. How? passwd. You can specify that root R without passing any user. If we execute this command as a root user, okay, it is going to by default set the password for root user. So passwd space username, you can specify, or you can execute only the passwd command. So Abhi is asking, these commands cannot be executed with the normal user. Bhaiya, you have to answer. Okay, because already we discussed that one. Not able to execute as a normal user. That is what I showed you. I don't know what you were doing earlier. That's why you have to join in time. If you join in time, you are not going to miss any point. When I am starting the class, that time very less people. Now see, more than 30 people joined after the class. It's very bad. Every day I am telling join in time, all these things. Okay, so now I'm not passing the username. So by default, it is going to take the root username. See, changing the password for root user. Even though I didn't pass it, but it is going to take. If you don't specify any username here, so whoever executing that command, that username it is going to take. So now I'm going to type password as a password. Password as a password. Okay. So now we have executed the password. We have set the password for EC2-user, right? For Bhaskar user, and if you go and see for root user also, we set the password, right? So like this, you can set the passwords using the passwd command. So now you have a one user and you have set the password, and you have the server IP address, right? So these three details is more enough to connect to the server. This is the public server IP address. Okay, these three details is enough, right? Now we got these details, and I don't like to use the password as a password. I want to change the password. How to do it? Very simple. First connect to the server and execute passwd. So if you are executing passwd command as a normal user, see, if I'm keeping that dollar here. Dollar means you are executing as a normal user. Just simply execute passwd command. Don't specify the username. Don't specify the username. If you don't specify username and if you're going to execute passwd command, it is going to ask the password, current password. Already we know current password. This is the current password. So once you hit the enter, it is going to ask the new password. Type that new password. And again, one more time you can pass. So like that, you can reset the password. So if you want to reset the password, or if you want to change the password, you should know the current password. Without knowing the current password, okay, without knowing the current password, you are not able to change the password. I went to 1 month vacation. So I came back today. I'm trying to connect to this server. I forgot the password. Okay. Then what to do? What to do? Very simple. Just contact to the root user. Contact to the root user. They are going to reset the password. Very simply. Just if you execute this command with the root user, it is not going to ask the current password. Directly it will say that change the password. Change the password. Right? Clear? Suppose if the root user forgot the password, so as a Linux admin, they has to reboot the server. While booting, they have some steps. They are going to reset the password for the root user also. Clear? So like that, we are going to create the username and set the password. Clear? Anybody have any questions so far? Whatever the two commands we executed, username, user add, and passwd. Anand is asking how to create user with admin privileges but don't have user addition, add and deletion privileges. I will cover that point. Wait, Baya, Anand Baya. Hmm? So guys, some guys are teasing me. So they are also, if I ping that, hey Anand, hi Baya, tell me Baya, like that they are giving giving me back same word Baya. Hmm. I learned this word Baya from my senior manager. He is from Jabalpur. Okay, so he is very good in technical. Almost he have 56 years old now. Still he is learning the new things and he is giving the trainings. His hobby is giving the teaching. Teaching is his hobby. So I attended many classes, data science classes. He was giving freely, free of cost in my office. Okay, if anybody is doing mistake, Arey Baya, what you are doing? So like that he was scrolling. Okay, so that word I learned from him from almost 12 years back. Okay? And now my students are learning and they are giving me back Arey Baya like that. Okay, so now I have created a user. I set the password. Hmm. Now I'm going to set some attributes. I'm going to set some attributes. Okay, attributes like, see, user is going to expire at uh, how many days. After that, how many days your user has to expire. Before expiring, when you have to send a notification. So all these things I want to set as attributes. For that one, we are going to use the chase command. Chase. So as a root user, just execute chase and specify the username to whom you need to set that attributes. Okay, just execute chase, give the username Bhaskar. See, minimum password is by default 0. I'm going to give that 90. Maximum is 5 nines are there. I'm going to give that 90. So last password change. So by default it is going to take today's date. By default it is going to take the today's date. Instead of that one, means today onwards it is going to consider 90 days. Okay, from today it is going to consider 90 days. Instead of that one, tomorrow or after tomorrow onwards it has to consider 90 days. So you have to give that number here. So if you don't give, just if you hit the enter, it will take that this one, today's date. Okay, so password expiry warning. Okay, 7 days before password is going to expire by default. Instead of that one, in 14 days. So these are the some security policies. Each company they have their own security policies, right? See, before 14 days, your password is about to expire. You are going to get your notification, right? So like that, you can change it. Password inactive, it is -1, means never it is going to be inactive. So expiry is different, inactive is different. See, we are giving that 90 days maximum password expire. So after 90 days, you are not able to use this password with it because it is going to expire. But we can make it inactive. If you make it inactive, it is not going to work even though before 90 days if you try it. Inactive is different, expiry is different. Okay, so if you don't give any number here, never it is going to be inactive. -1 means infinity. Hit the enter. Password expiry date. Sorry, account expiry date. So I have a one requirement. I want to create a one user with the some condition. I want to create a one user only. It is going to work for 10 days. After that, automatically it has to expire. So that time you can specify the 10. Okay. So after 10 days, your account is going to be expire. You are not able to use it. Okay. Hit the enter. See? Over. Right. Now, if you want to see that, use the same command chase mask. See, it is showing that updated 90 days. Earlier, also maximum is 90. This one 999. Now it is showing 90. We didn't change that password. Change it. And last password warning 14. Earlier it was 7. So password inactive -1. See. So for changing the attributes, for displaying the attributes, you can use the chase command. Right? Clear? So we discussed about that user add command for creating the user, for setting the password, pass doublet command, for changing the attributes, chase command we use. Okay, these are the 3 commands we executed so far. Right. So chase -l. Katija is saying that chase -l. CHG not change. Chase -l. It is going to give the options. Okay. Chase -l means list. Now I want to create a group. First, why we need to create a group? What is the use of group? We have created a user. Now we are going to create a group. What is the use of group? See, I have 10 users in the server, 2 DevOps engineers, 5 developers, 1 DBA. DBA means database administrator, and 1 QA guy. Assume. So for all the users, we are not going to give the same level of access, right? We need to give that various level of access, right? So it is very difficult giving that individual access. Instead of that one, create a group, add the users to the group, give that access to the user, so that it is going to give that access to that whoever there in that particular group, all the users are going to get the same access, right? So group is going to use it for organizing the users. Group is going to use it for organizing the users. Okay. So how to create a group? Very simple. However, we have used that user add command, we can use that group add command. Group add, and group name. So once we execute this command, it is going to create that one group. So once if we create a group, where the group information is going to store, is it going to create a one directory in the home directory for the groups? No, only users it is going to create it. So it is going to add one entry in the group file which is available in the etc directory. Okay. So now let me create a group. Group add, and a group name is Devops. It has created. So again, if you execute same command, see what it's saying, already exist, already exists, right? So if you go and see in the etc directory, see Devops group has created. So by default, each user it is going to consider as a one user, one group. That's why see each user information also going to available in the group file. So now my requirement is I want to add Bhaskar user to the Devops group. I want to add Bhaskar users to the Devops group. Okay. What we are going to do? Very simple. User mod is a one command. Using this one, we are going to update the users list in the group, and we can add the users in the group. User mod, okay, -g group name. So which group you want to add? Devops group. Which user? Bhaskar user. User mod -g group name and username. Bhaskar user we are going to add to the Devops group. Right. So now if you execute this command, it is going to add Bhaskar users to the Devops group. So how to know in this particular group how many users are there? LID -g group name. LID -g group name. So if you execute this command, it is going to give that how many users are there in this particular group. Right now it is showing that 0, nothing. If it is not giving any output means no users are added. No users are added. So now what I will do, I am going to execute this command. Now if you go and execute LID command, see it is showing that Bhaskar user. Means Bhaskar user is added to the Devops group. Right? That's why Bhaskar user is showing here. Okay. LID -g wheel. Did you remember? We used this group name when chgrp command. When we are executing chgrp command, that time we use it. So right now in this particular group, no users, right? So I have one interview question. How to log the user? How to log the user? Is it possible to log? If you log that user, he is not able to log in. He's not able to log in. Okay, very simple. User mod hyphen L, capital letter L, and give that username, which user you want to log it. Okay, so once if you execute this command, before that just see shadow file. If you go and see shadow file, okay, right now this is the password, right? Now if you execute this command and if you execute same cat command, if you observe, the exclamatory mark has added. Earlier, if you see here, do we have exclamatory mark? No. So after executing user mod command, user mod hyphen L, so it is going to add exclamatory mark so that it is going to log the user, right? So the complete password is not going to replace, no? The complete password is not going to replace, just one exclamatory mark is going to add. See, same password only. If you want, you can see JNHP32M, JNHP32M. See, just it is going to add the exclamatory mark. Okay, so if you want to unlock, now if you try to log in with the Bhaskar user, you are not able to log in. Okay, if you want to unlock now, what to do? Very simple. User mod hyphen U, capital letter U, capital letter U, not the lowercase, uppercase you have to use. Unlock, for unlock. Clear? So once we execute user mod hyphen U and that Bhaskar user, this exclamatory mark is going to remove. Okay, so now see, do we have exclamatory mark? No, right? It is not there. So like that, you can log the user, unlog the user using the user mod command. Using the user mod command, you can add the user to the group. So using this lid command, we know that in this particular group, how many users are added. So now my requirement is in this particular user belongs to how many groups? Is it? I have one question. Is it possible to add same user to the multiple groups? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. See, I am a developer. I will be there in the developers group. So I know the Devops. So definitely I will be there in the Devops group also. Right? I want to know this particular user, Bhaskar user belongs to how many groups? Very simple. ID and give the username. Okay, see, it is going to use UID Bhaskar, group ID, and groups. So it is showing that only the DevOps group. ID EC2-user. I want to know that EC2-user belongs to how many groups? See, EC2-user belongs to EC2-user group, ADM group, and systemd-journal group. right? So like that, using the id command, we can see that user belongs to what are the groups. And also guys, we have one more command, groups command. Groups and give the username. See, it is going to give the Bhaskar user belongs to this particular group. Same way, you can use it for ec-user also. Groups ec-user. See, ec-user belongs to ec-user group, ADM group, and systemd-general. Right. So like that, you can use that groups command or id command, either one. Okay. Now I want to switch to the user. See, we have created a user, we set the password, we change the attributes, we have created a user group, we added the user to the group using the user mode, and we have identified user belongs to how many groups using the id command and groups command. And we discussed about that how to find that in that particular group how many users are there using the lid command. Now I want to switch to the user. See, I have created a Bhaskar user. So right now I'm in the root user. Is it possible to switch to the one user to another user? Yes, using the su command. Su means switch user. S means switch, u means user. So when you are switching from root user to normal user, when you are switching from root user to normal user, password is not required. So Kapil is asking, sir, is there any trick to remember these commands? No trick. You have to do the practice. So when you are learning alphabets, ABCDs, is there any trick you have applied? Kapil, Savankar, did you applied
Uh,
any trick?
no, sir. No, sir.
Don't unmute it. Okay, mention in the chat box. You didn't apply any trick, right? Same way here also. Do that practice. Practice makes man perfect. Do more and more practice. Okay. So when you are switching from root user to normal user, password is not required. When you are switching from normal user to any normal user, means like ECT-user to the Bhaskar user. So normal user to normal user. So that time password is required. Password is required. When you are switching from normal user to root user, password is required. Password is required. Okay. So like that, you can switch from one user to another user. Clear? So now let me switch to that EC-user. See, we have, and one more thing. So when you are switching, you should use that hyphen. If you don't use the hyphen, already we discussed it, right? The difference between sudo space su hyphen, sudo space su, right? We discussed that difference. So if you don't use hyphen, what will happen? It is not going to switch to the, it is not going to point to the that particular user home directory. If you see, we didn't use that hyphen, so that's why still it is pointing to that root user home directory only. It has switched UCT hyphen user, but it is not pointing, and it is not going to load the root that ECT user configurations. Clear? So I have executed cd tilde symbol. So now when you are switching from root user to normal user, is it asking password? No. I have switched from root user to ECT hyphen user. It is not asking password. SU hyphen basket. See, it is asking the password now because normal user to normal user we are switching. Already you know password for ECT hyphen user. See, now we are in the basket user home directory and we switch it to the basket. You should use that hyphen. Okay, without hyphen don't use it. Now I want to switch to the root user. So su space hyphen r su space hyphen space root. If you don't specify username, by default it is going to take the root user. So this one and this one both are same. These two both are same. So I will use that su space hyphen. Okay, don't use that root user. Don't specify the root username. It is going to ask root user password. Already I know the root user password. See, it switched to the root user. You guys can try with su space hyphen space root. Okay, you guys can try like that one. So Nani is asking that. Nani ready. Sudo space su hyphen is both are su hyphen root is both are same. Both are not the same. Both are not the same. Okay, so we'll discuss about the sudo command, then we'll discuss your difference. Easily you can able to understand yourself. Okay, see, using that su command, we are going to switch from one user to another user. Okay, so now my requirement is I want to give the admin access to the basket user, because whoever having the root credentials is going to 1 month vacation. Okay, so whoever having that root credentials, he is going to 1 month vacation. He should not supposed to share the credentials to anyone. He should not supposed to share the credentials to anyone. That is the violation. Even if your manager asks also, you should not supposed to give. If you share, you are in the trouble. I will tell you some incidents. So one girl, she shared her credentials to her colleague, and that day she was in the vacation. That guy, he executed some commands with her credentials, and the server has messed up. Server has destroyed, means some file system has corrupted. So while doing some root cause analysis means how this issue has happened. Okay, root cause. What is the cause for this incident? They are going to do the analysis. So this is called a root cause analysis. So your lead is going to ask, hey, did you done any root cause analysis on that issue? Yes, I did that one. I found that. So they have executed one command with this particular user, and they identified on that day she's on the leave. Okay, how you have executed? And they inquired. She said that I shared the credentials to this guy. I don't want to reveal their names. So they terminated both. Okay, HR sent a one termination letter. Clear? So that's why don't share any credentials to your colleagues. When you are joining in the project, they are going to give some induction program. When you are joining company also, the HRs, they are going to give that induction. So when this company has started, all these things, and then even in project also, they are going to give some induction programs. Okay, and every year you are going to do one course. Okay, in that course also they are going to BCG course. Yes or no? How many guys are doing that every year? Na? In each company it is there, BCG. Yes or no? Even in while doing that course also, they are going to mention you should not supposed to share the password. Yes or no? This sentence is there or not? You should not supposed to share the password. It is there, but still people are going to do that mistakes, right? So that time you are in the trouble. So that's why don't share any credentials to your colleagues. Even if he's your manager also, you should not supposed to share. Then 1 month, what we have to do without root credentials? You should not supposed to do any admin activities. No, how to do any alternative. So the alternative is for Bhaskar user, we are going to give the admin access. How to give the admin access to the Bhaskar user? Very simple. Did you remember when we are discussing about that etc directory, we discussed about one important file called as sudoers. This is a file name. There is no extension. Just file name is sudoers, which is there in the etc directory. Okay. So how to give sudo access to this particular Bhaskar user? Very simple. Add this user to the sudoers file. Already you know, right? How to update this file? What is the command we are going to use? VAM or nano, your wish. You can use /etc va/etc/ sudoers. Okay, or you can use the vsudo command. Just if you execute the vsudo command, it is going to open the sudoers file. Is there any difference opening this particular file using the vi editor or directly vsudo? Yes, difference is there. Difference is there. See, if you open the file like this one, your file is not going to be locked. The parallelly, other users also can able to open this file. But if you use the vsudo command with the help of root user, you have to execute this command as a root user. So this file is going to be locked. Parallelly, others are not able to update it. Okay. So you should use this command only to update the sudoers file. Clear? So now you can execute vsudo command, hit the enter. Okay, just hold the down arrow mark, it will come. You will see here root, just type I, it will come insert mode. Give the username to whom you need to provide the sudo access basket. All is equal to all. Okay, means whatever the root user have the privileges, we are giving all the privileges to Bhaskar user. Is it possible to give only some specific commands to the root access? Yes, it is possible. Instead of all here, you can give that command names. Okay, save it. And one more thing, you can add that Bhaskar user here or at the end also you can add it. See here, EC2 hyphen user have the sudo access already. So can we give sudo access for n number of users? Yes, it is possible. Okay, it is possible. Did you remember here? See here for Bhaskar user, just I have given all is equal to all. Here see, no passwd all. Just remember this word. I will discuss later. So like this, we are going to give the sudo access to the normal user. Now, if you switch to the Bhaskar user and you can create the users, you can do that admin activities. How to switch to the root user, Bhaskar user? Su space hyphen space Bhaskar. See, when you are switching from root user to normal user, it is not going to ask the password. See, I have used su hyphen Bhaskar. Now you can try to create a user add Balaji. Still it is not giving, still it is giving the error. It is not able to add. Why? So guys, when you got the sudo access, you have to use that sudo before user add command. Then only it is going to create the user. Okay, you have to use the sudo. Means you are executing with sudo privileges, root privileges. You are executing this command as a normal user, but even though you have sudo access, hit the enter. See, it is saying that we trust you have received that user lecture from the local system administrator. It uses boils down these three things. Respect the privacy of others. Think before you type. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes or no? Now you have that admin access. First point, respect the privacy of others. So if you have admin access, you can go to the other user home directory and you can see that others users file system also. Don't do that one. Think before you type, because now you have the admin access. Whatever the command you are going to execute, it is going to work. It may go into corrupt the file systems also. So that's why when you are executing with the sudo privileges, be careful with the root user also, because root user and who are having the sudo access, they have more permissions, right? All the permissions, they can delete all the files also. See, it is asking password for Bhaskar user. You know, now see, it has created. If you go and see in the home directory, see, Bala user has created. Same way, set the password. So you have to use the sudo pass wd Balaji. See, changing password for user Balaji. Give the password. So we set the password successfully. Okay. So like that, you can create the group also. How? Sudo group add group name DBA. It has created. Again, if you try, see, it is showing already it is there. So like that, now whatever the root user going to do with the basket user also can able to do it. Clear? Now I want to delete the user. I want to delete the group. Very simple. However, you have used user add command for creating. We can use that user del. Del means deleting the user. Same way, group del and group name. Okay. So user del, user deletion, group del, group deletion. So you have to use that sudo user del username Balaji. See, along with user del, you have to use the -r option. If you don't use the -r option in the home directory, Balaji directory is not going to delete. Just only it is going to delete the user. So if you want to delete that directory as well as, you can use that -r. It has deleted. If you go and see in the home directory, see, there is no Balaji directory. Same way, you can delete that group user group del group name DBA. It has deleted. So like that, you can create the users, create the groups, delete the users. See, when you are switching from su-ec2 user, I switch it to the ec2 user. So if you want to switch to the root user, we can use that sudo su-. Okay, or you can use that su-. Is there any difference for these two? Yes, it is there. See here, we are using that sudo, means with the sudo privileges we are switching. So already for ec2 user we have the sudo access, and in the sudoers file for ec2 users entry we mention that no passwd, means when you are switching to that root user, don't ask the password. See, without asking the password it has switched. Okay, but if you switch to the Bhaskar user, and if you type sudo space su space hyphen, still it is going to, okay, so it is sudo we have used, that's why. Okay, so if you have the sudo access without asking the password, it is going to switch. Okay, just log out. Now we came to that exit Bhaskar user. Again, if you execute exit command, now if you execute su hyphen, so what it is going to consider now? ec2 user as a normal user. When you are switching from normal user to root user, it is going to ask the password. See, it is going to ask the password for root user, right? So if we execute this command without asking the password, it will switch. But if you execute this command, it is going to consider you are executing as a normal user and you have to give the password, right? So like that, you can use that su command for switching the user from one user to another user. Now we were clear, right? Sudo command and su command and yes, to you, if you don't want to use the password, you can use the sudo. Clear? Anybody have any questions on this particular slide? User administration group, user and the group administration commands. No? Then we good to go to that other slide. No? Next one is cron tab. So it will take more than 1 hour. So we don't have that much time, right? What you will do, we'll cover in tomorrow's session. Clear? So before coming to that tomorrow's class, you can finish all these things. Okay. Sudo su hyphen Dhananjay is asking the question. I don't want to answer. You guys can help him. Sudo su hyphen and sudo su. The difference between, he is asking this question. Sudo difference between sudo su hyphen sudo su. Refer that I think second video, third video. You will get the answer. Third session, yes. Go through that one. I'm not going to give the answer for you. This is the punishment, Dhananjay. Because already we covered. See, people are saying that go to the third session. If I answer now, you are not going to go through that video again and again. N number of times we have mentioned, right? If I answer now, you are not able to remember. If you go through the video, if you spend 1 hour time, you will get that some other commands also. Right? See, Yaudeshwar already answered. And even if you go through this document also, the running notes, okay, you will see, I think, yes, I have already discussed that one. This one, see, already we discussed how to reboot the server. Use the reboot command, okay, or direct you can go here, select this one, instance state, reboot. Clear? So guys, do that more and more practice, and easily will get the job. Okay. See, before completing the course, many of our students are getting the job. So once course is over 70%, you guys can upload the resumes. We'll give that one session on how to prepare your resume. Don't worry on that one. We are going to share some sample resumes. Right? Krishna is asking, what is the starting UID for Linux 8 version? Same way, by 1000. We are using the right now 8 version only. Okay. So just if you type uname command, what it is giving? It is giving that Linux. In the Linux, many flavors are there. Okay. So if you want to know which version of your Linux server, which flavor you are using, very simple, cat/etc/star release. What do you mean by this one? Star release. So etc directory contains many files with extension release, right? So any file with extension release, you have to display the content. See, we are using the version 8.4 Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. Clear? Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.